Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you with a new Let's Play series called Dawntide. Not to be confused with Dawn Chorus, this is a completely different game. Currently only Chapter 1 is out, but I think it's a pretty meaty chunk of content. We got all these lovely looking guys over here. Yeah, so I'm very interested in this. I've heard good things about it. But guys, please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes and let's jump right in. Alarm chain, you're up, and let's go. Alright. There's no going back to where we were, but I can still wander our old paths. I follow them back to your house. It shows nothing of itself but weather-worn foundations and holes in the ground where brambles grow. It was there that you held me still, close to your chest. A moment wrapped in warm linen when your fingers slipped between mine. It filled spaces I never knew were there. Recollection squints like a beacon through sea fog, swaying far from the land, but visiting this spot keeps you moored in my mind. Maybe that's not something you want, but you're all I can hold on to. I know these paths lead the same way each time, but maybe one day they won't. I hope that one day I'll be able to I'll find this house rebuilt, and you'll be waiting there. You'll flow around me until all those spaces are filled. Until then, Griff. A screaming hiss jolts me from my daydream. I'm still working. I've made lattes so many times in these last few months that I can do it on autopilot. My customer, an early afternoon regular, taps at her phone on the other side of the counter. She comes here on work days, sometimes between 1 and half 2. Makes her coffee to go. It's about as punctual as most people get in Port Warren. After tapping the bubbles out of the foam, I wiggle my wrist, sending wavy ripples into the cup. A wonky rosette stares back apologetically. Not my best work. I cover it quickly and call to the customer. Latte! The regular takes the cup in the hand. With a thanks and a half smile, she makes her usual exit to the empty street. The lunchtime rush has passed. The rest of my shift will just bring more customers like this one, if any at all. Hold on, let me. There we go. Elbows on the countertop. I keep the door in my periphery in case any customers appear. The muffled sound of laptop keys flutter amongst the strums of music through speakers around the room. The name of the cafe hangs on a wooden board above a long landscape mirror. The Buoy. I send my mirror self a half-hearted wave, hoping to brighten his spirits. You're the boy, Riley. It does very little. Wonder what they'll think of you now. The mirror self doesn't quite know how to answer. He's likely tired. It's his last shift for a week. I decide to make myself busy in the meantime, cleaning the steam spouts, ensuring the shot baskets are empty and drained. Out of a small window at the back of a room, the lopsided hulls of small boats breathe gently on low water. Excuse me, I'm reminded that working in the aroma of fresh grounded coffee beans is comparative luxury on days like this. The last job paid a little more, but a stench of low tide crept into the stockroom. As I shuffle cups on top of the coffee machine, the tap of laptop keys peters out. A dull clap precedes some rustling in a bag. Standing up from their table, a red deer clad in khaki tones trots towards the bar. You ready, Riley? I thought you got off at 15:15. Oh, he's cute. The half past. Oh, right. Oh, I love the character portraits. Oh, art style's so nice. Hazel's in the staff room. She'll be out in a bit. Fair enough. She rests an elbow on the counter and tries to make it not look like that she's eyeing her phone. Oh, her, okay. Sal? Oh, okay. So, excited? Yeah, kinda. Kinda? I don't know, it's weird. Billy and Ranzo have been doing their own things for so long now, it's going to be a bit strange. It'll be a bit different, sure. But that's good! It's been long enough, things should be different. I loosed the cord on my froth-stained apron and turned my head around the room. I guess so, yeah. You still worried about the cafe thing? I don't know, it feels weird knowing they've been out of the county and I'm just, you know. Well, me and Joe are still here, aren't we? Yeah, but you've got your proper jobs. She looks like she's about to say something, then changes her mind. Look, you've got nothing to worry about. We'll go and get Joe and Billy and then meet Ranzo. They'll be too glad to see you care about anything else. They'll be too glad to see you to care about anything. Okay. I feel more of a smile form on my face. You're doing good, Ree. We probably should get moving. Though. Billy's train gets in at 1:45. I place my folded apron on the counter. The clock on the cash register reads 14:29. Right, I'll go check on Hazel. Apron in hand, I pace between the tables towards the back room. I catch another glimpse of those boats in the shallow water, before opening the door to a room where the air is thick with dishwasher steam. Hazel, you're up! It's a steep walk up to the station, a thin, straight road with shops on either side, most of which have flats above them. After placing her bag inside the doorway to our flat, Sal closes and double locks the door. She walks back to the street, phone in hand. Still nothing from Billy. Her voice is breathy as we trudge further up the incline. By the way, what time did you come in last night? I didn't hear you. Yeah, just sleeping badly. Went for a walk. I'm starting to regret wearing a sweater. My shirt has formed damp patches that struck me with chills whenever the wind blows through the yarn. Bad dreams? No, just hard to sleep. You out walking again, then? Yeah. A few cars pass us by on the thin streets, their engines cutting through the shushing sway of new leaves and the gulls wheeling above. Today should get you worn out. Once at the top, it's a comparatively easy walk downhill, and we're able to catch our breaths. Approaching the station, a few cars and cabs are lined up in the taxi rank. Beyond them, another figure comes into view. He paces on the spot, a blue lighter cupped in two hands. He holds it close to his slate beak. The cold wind snaps the flame left and right until his cigarette lights. Heaving a relieved drag, his head tips back and wisps of gray smoke chase away in the breeze. That's when he sees us, a furrowed face unfolding into a smile. Hey, what's on? What's on? Oh, Bird. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you, too. Been a while. His voice is glazed with a light southwestern veneer. He's calm, and tones of excitement break through as he talks. Southwestern, huh? Sorry we're late. Oh, what voice should I do for him? Not a problem, so's the train. That sounds good. Stepping closer, the smell of cigarettes grows potent. I hope you've been good. You still trying to quit? Yeah, as you can see, it's going great. Heard anything from Billy? Nope. Thought the master of ceremonies had him wrangled. Keeping his eyes on me, he tips his head sideways to Sal. Sal wanders over to the fence. She peers across towards the monitor hanging from a platform ceiling. Says it's due. Joe takes a puff of his cigarette. Can't trust the schedule, Sal, you know that. You got this afternoon off, then? Yeah, a bit hard with the exhibition coming up, but I got a few days off, actually. Oh, hold up, what do you say? What's the theme this year? Boats? Joe smirk sizzles with the burning tobacco. Who told you? Are they not just using the same stuff as last year? Take the old pictures out from the back room and sling them up, right? Nah, it's a big one this year. Anniversary. Bringing out all the artifacts from the back room. Photos, papers, bits from the Kemper. Mr. Pinblood even got some of the old lifeboats reconstructed. It sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, mostly paperwork for me. Some people visit annually, so it's gotta be good. He tweezes a couple of small pale feathers from under his chin. Don't worry too much about it. If they're traveling in each year, then they're probably happy enough to see the boat. They're like train spotters, aren't they? It's coming! The alarm of descending barriers rings out, and the faint sound of steel wheels scratch around the bend. Speaking of... Joe, Sal, and I walk around to the station entrance, a small brick building fitted with sliding glass doors for a brush of modernity. Sal is fiddling with her phone again. The train slides to a halt at the platform, though the number of carriages exceed its length. Above the barriers are glossy pictures of beaches and meadows, advertisements for the sights around the county. Most alighting here to stay on the platform. Likely waiting for another train to whisk them away to somewhere scenic. Some passengers start to fly through the gates. We keep our eyes peeled for a lapine figure. A good number of people pass us by, but there's no sign of him. Maybe he's in first. It's right at the back. I guess. Fuck's sake. We both turn to see Sal, glaring down at her phone. He missed the train. What? And he didn't message before? That's what I said. Sal scans the screen, spitting out a sharp sigh of exasperation. She reads aloud. Was out of bet. Had to change it when I got to the next one. Unbelievable! She struts over to the fence and cranes her neck toward the platform. Next one's not for 45 minutes. I'm not sticking around for that. Me neither. I'm telling him to meet us at the pub. Seems to perk Joe's plumage. Better in than out in this weather, eh? I think that last part sounded a little Australian. A chill wind nips at the back of my neck. Can't argue with that. Or, since Billy's late, we should meet Ranzo properly at the docks. Sal takes a moment, pressing her fingers to her forehead as she paces back. Sure, that works. Then we can get the drinks in. Sounds good to me. Let's head down. We head east towards the dock, cutting around the back of the town, following the path of the railway. Midway down, the chug of a freight train grows louder until it passes us, up on the old stone viaduct. Pillars of light scan over Sal and Joe, cast from the gaps in the container carriages. Looks like that one's late too. Ship's not, though. Joe raises a bumpy talon and points towards the funnel of a cargo ship, which pokes out above distant trees, straddled by large planes. That's one thing, at least. I was on time. You weren't. Joe says this with pride. It's a turn up for the books. Sal takes the jibe with a grin. It's embarrassing. You said it yourself, Sal. Everything's late. Sal's smile gives in a little as her eyes meet the tops of the trees. I know, it's just been a whole thing to set this all up. And it's going fine. We'll get Ranzo. Head to the Chariot and wait for Billy. I'm going to text him so he knows where we are. Wait, I thought we were going to surprise him. I'd really rather keep this simple. Come on, we've been following instructions all week. It's been a long time since I've seen Ranzo. He loves a bit of fun, but he can also be quite sensitive. I'm not really sure. Ranzo likes surprises, Ranzo likes clarity, surprises. Oh, shit. I guess this is a big surprise. Clarity. Surprise. Let's see. Damn it. Well, I've got a previous save, so... I think he'd appreciate it, honestly. Breaks the ice. Sal's hand stays in her pocket, dropping what she was holding. Fine. But if we spend an hour waiting for him, it's on you. I guess we'll see. My sight follows the last train carriage as it trundles ahead toward the dock. How's the job going, Ree? Not bad. Pretty quiet most of the time. A bit boring. Better than stressful, though, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not stressful. It's not stressful. Right, I know how that is. I can sense he's trying not to push any buttons. He soon changes the subject. Do you know where Ranzo set off from? North Koyo? I think, across the pond. Didn't he tell you? No, I don't really chat that often. That tracks. Ranzo's great, but you have to push him for a text response. I scrubbed through my messages with him. There's a couple of music links I sent the other day. Not read. And then a message wishing him for a good trip over. Not read. Then there's a brief back and forth around his departure from dock, littered with abbreviations and typos. Wait, no, South Koyo. He's had his fun in the sun, then. It's still nice and bright out, but even between the valley of the viaduct and the tall houses, there's still that bite in the air. Hope he got it while he could. I think he'll be bundled up in a winter jacket? If I know him, he'll try to look all hard and just wear a t-shirt. That does sound more like him. Oh, I thought you were going to argue so I could bet a pint on it. I'll bet. I for a handshake. Joe reciprocates without hesitation. But I'm going to say fisherman's jumper, with stripes. You're on. Twigs and hard soil crunch underfoot as we continue along the path. Won't be long until we're back on the road. At the base of the hill, the road peels left across the bay. Before weaving back through the heart of the town, it runs along a wall of corrugated iron, a drab metal blister on the headland's pastoral greens. At a gap in the fence, we see dock workers passing through with clipboards and hard hats, the usual fare. Between them are glimpses of a rarer sort, at least for these parts. They're the ones that bring life to the town when the big ships take anchor. A lady passes us by, browns, blacks, and whites painted across her like marbled paper. Her ears are perked up like two satellite dishes as she speaks cheerily to a top-heavy man with gray-green scales. Both of them sport dark blue overalls with Liverson emblazoned across the front, the same emblem that marks the great freighter's hull. Still, no sign of the guy we're looking for. You think we should go in? No, you probably need a badge or something. I reckon I could blag it. I'm not picking you up if you get caught trespassing, Joe. I don't think they mind that much, Sal. She shoots me a look that says, don't encourage him. But yeah, Joe, she's right. Best not to push it. I told you we should have messaged him. Yeah, well, I tried to think of a good reason why we didn't. I bet he wouldn't even respond anyway. If we don't see him soon, I'm gonna call. Joe, who until now has been leaning against the iron gate, suddenly jolts up. He turns to us and whispers excitedly, I can see him! He stays low and points through a gap in the posts. Sure enough, a scruffy gray figure in blue overalls plods towards the barrier. Told you, Sal! Okay, what are we doing? Joe motions towards himself frantically. He's trying to whisper, but it comes out more like a raspy voice. Come on, get down over here! We duck down low, scurrying over to Joe. He presses his beak to the gap in the fence, silent. He's loving this. Suddenly there's a flurry of feathers, jolting forward with us in tow, springing out and shouting almost in unison. Oh, he's a scruffy boy. Happy welcome back! Hello back, Ransom! God, cute. Ah! All the wiry gray hairs of the salty sea dog raise up, before his shocked expression spreads out into a broad smile. Ha! Hilly gave me a heart attack! It's good to see ya! His blue eyes glimmer as his arms wrangle us together into one group hug. The grasp is firm. It smells of fresh laundry, dampened by salt. It's undercut by the blossom of singed tobacco as Joe's pressed closer to me. After a few good seconds, Ranzo's heavy arms let us go and return to his hips. As I take a deep breath, Ranzo's eyes rest on me. Oh, excuse me. So, this is your idea of rye bread? Oh god, I've got the hiccups, I can't laugh. No, it's Joe's actually. Shoulda guessed. Well, figured you'd like a proper welcome after all this time. I did. Thanks, mate. His voice bears a similar southwestern cadence to the rest of us, but it's layered on thick. Despite his travels, he's a port warrener through and through. I don't know where these places are. Is this somewhere in, like the UK? I think it is. His eyes trace around us. His breath pushes heavily against the scruff of his muzzle, still perked up from the shock. Hard to think I'm actually back here with all of you. Wait, where's Billy? He missed his train. I've told him to meet us at the Chariot. Ah, we still going now, or are we gonna have a mosey first? Mossy. Plenty of time to mosey tomorrow. Let's get pissed. We should probably get there before Billy does. Let's go. The walk to the Chariot takes us along the narrow main street. To our left, buildings are cramped together, clambering up a steep hill. On the right, little roads break off down the seafront, where wooden benches sit empty with flapping parasols bearing their venues' names. Pubs and bars are some of the only places able to hold their own in recent years, stubborn nails jutting out amongst the shops and cafes that come and go with the tide. Around half of the storefronts lay vacant. Their remaining signage earmarked by boards reading "To Let," standing only to remind passers-by what used to be there. Their empty, dark rooms make their broad street-side windows into ghostly mirrors. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the first Let's Play episode of Dawntide. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!